Dang. My bingo card only got about 5 points. I would have had 6 if I kept the original one. Oh well, despite getting very little predictions and wishes, we got a number of games that got the internet a-buzzing. Let's take a look at them. Without wasting a moment, we got a brand new Mario & Luigi RPG, Brothership. Love that pun. I think I'm more surprised that they made a new installment rather than remastering the first 3 in HD or something like that. I could tell right away it was Mario & Luigi because of its art style. I only have 3 of the Mario & Luigi games. I'm more excited for those that went crazy when this was announced. And there are other games I'm looking forward to more, but this looks really good. I'm likely getting this one, just not sure when. Nintendo World Championship NES Edition. Can we get SNES and N64 editions next? I already have this one pre-ordered, because I'm a sucker for these really nice bonuses. It has more going for it than just being an NES remix collection, such as Survival Mode, compete against ghost data from other players from around the world. It sounds like the challenges from Rayman Legends, and I love that! Now I'm really looking forward to when it comes out. Fairy Tail 2! I haven't watched the anime, so I don't have an interest in this. Sorry. Fantasia Neo Dimension! You have one of the main creators of Final Fantasy, along with the series composer Nobuo Uematsu, and it's hard not to get some attention around this. But I never really got into Final Fantasy. Maybe someday I will, which is why it's barely on my radar. Nintendo Switch Sports Basketball added! I don't have Nintendo Switch Sports, and this isn't exactly going to entice me to get it either. When was the last time this game even got an update? Just curious. Mio Memories in Orbit. This looks like a beautifully watercolor 2D platformer. I have no idea what's going on, but I'm gonna keep an eye on it. Disney Illusion Island free update. I'm surprised this got a free update. Why wasn't the update to include online co-op? Maybe I would have bought it then. Hello Kitty Island Adventure. That's not for me, pal. Looney Tunes Wacky World of Sports. Game Mail is doing this one, but oh my goodness, do the graphics look like they are from the PS2 era! This doesn't do them justice at all, and yet when you have stage hazards from your soccer part and Battle League... I don't even want to say anymore, I think you get my point. I love the Looney Tunes, and if you could show me some more stuff happening, maybe? But for now, it's just barely on my radar. Among Us role updates! Well, look what the leaker brought with them! 3 new roles have just been added. But I guess the sheriff mode isn't ready yet? Noisemaker, make a noise if you die, alerting everyone. Tracker, put a tracking device on someone and watch where they are. And Phantom for the imposters, disappear and get away scot-free. We already tested these out, we need more testing, but everyone agreed the new user interface is really nice, and we even have music for the waiting room. Guess we have another reason to play this again, at least for a little while. Farmagia, a monster training game with farming sim parts. I'm gonna pass on this one. Donkey Kong Country Returns HD! Ugh! I should be happy. I was happy when it was first shown off, but I think I was more happy about the fact that I called this rather than I wanted this. When it comes to Donkey Kong on the Switch, they don't just scrape off the bottom of the barrel, they just give you the bottom of the barrel. I really enjoyed Returns, but Tropical Freeze is just so much better in my eyes. It feels like we're downgrading, and they didn't give us anything special other than the 3DS stuff. And then I hear about who's making the game, and it makes a painful amount of sense. Forever Entertainment. Who are these guys? Well, I reviewed their remaster of Panzer Dragoon some years back, and let's just say the product was fine. It was a faithful HD version made from the ground up, but they barely did anything to add any new features, and the game can be beaten within an hour and charged $30 for it. You can find it on sale sometimes for around $2, and that's hard to pass up, but it tells me what this is going to be. Nothing all that special will be added. I doubt we'll get new Kongs or new worlds or even special stages for some returning animal buddies they could add. Just, for those special stages. It's just going to be the Wii version with the 3DS stuff in HD, and that's it. Slap the $60 price tag on it. And to be honest, I don't know if I can blame Forever Entertainment for the lack of extras. It could be them just doing what they are told to do. If this goes on sale for $2, doesn't mean sure. Yeah, that's not gonna happen, but sure, if there was a cheap price, maybe. But I'm okay with the Wii and 3DS versions I currently have. Dragon Quest III and 1 and 2 HD 2D remakes. There's a lot of numbers and D's in there. This looks beautiful! I've still only played Dragon Quest XI, but if I wanted to look into the other entries, this is definitely a good place to start. However, these games can take forever to beat, and I've got other games I'm way more psyched up for. But if I ever see it for a good deal, then I might pick it up. Funko Fusion, and I was one of those people who immediately said, Freddy Fazbear! And that's the only reason I have any interest in this game. Luigi's Mansion 2 HD. Only for having better quality footage would I think of getting this game, but the price has to be right. The new Dimpa Man. It's done by Genius Sonority, the guys who did the Pokemon Coliseum and XD games. They're alive? It's free to play, but I already have limited space on my Switch as it is. Metal Slug Attack Reloaded. And after saying I had limited space, I went out and bought this one, because the price looked good and I wanted to give it a shot. What's it like? It kind of makes me just want to play an actual Metal Slug game if I'm being honest. But then again, I'm getting my butt handed to me on level 3, so I'm gonna need more time. Maybe I'll discuss it in my first video for Game Gauntlet, so be on the lookout for that. Darkest Dungeon 2. I just don't see myself getting this one. NSO Expansion Pack Update! Okay, if there's any reason why I have mixed feelings about this direct, it's right here. The NSO gets 4 more games added to it, 2 GBA, and now we have N64 plus 17 and older games. Maybe Conquer really will be added at some point. We get the GBA remake of A Link to the Past with 4 swords. So I was kinda right about 4 swords, but not really. Still, it's cool we have an online 4-player co-op Zelda game now, and Metroid Zero Mission is one of the best remakes a game could ever hope to have. And for our 17 and older, we have Turok, which you could already buy on the Switch, but okay. And Perfect Dark, the spiritual successor to GoldenEye. To me, this felt like teasing. Yes, it's cool to see more rare games on here, but why can't we get the one that really matters? The one that hasn't been re-released. Is there a reason for it? And I'd be less upset if they just gave us a roadmap and said Diddy Kong Racing is coming. Even if it comes out next year, I could wait without any real issues because I would know it's finally coming. But we don't have that. Alright, I've ranted about this for now. But you can bet I'll be coming back to this later. Phantom Brave: The Lost Hero. It looks fine, but I've got a number of other games on my plate and this just doesn't grab my attention. Marvel vs. Capcom Fighting Collection Arcade Classics. It's strange. I'm a button masher, but I like fighting games, despite being bad at them. And we're finally getting Marvel vs. Capcom 2 again after all these years, plus many other games. If it had the X-Men arcade beat 'em up with 6-player co-op online, I'd be more tempted to get this. For me, it depends on the price, but I'll be keeping an eye on this one. I'm probably gonna have to buy a bigger micro SD card, aren't I? Super Mario Party Jamboree! And there we go, our other codename leak come true! And it includes 2 boards that look like they were supposed to be for superstars. I do hope this one gets DLC at some point, but now we can have 20 players online for certain modes, and didn't I bring up an idea like this in my What's Your Opinion video a while back? They're still watching me. Okay, it's a bit different, but the concept feels the same. I am absolutely pre-ordering this when I can. The Legend of Zelda Echoes of Wisdom. And there's our rumored 2D Zelda game using the same art style from a Link's Awakening remake on the Switch. Before being sucked into a strange place, Link is able to save Zelda, and now she's a playable protagonist. The devs have always thought about what it would be like to make a Zelda game with Zelda as the playable character, and it looks like they finally have an answer! You create echoes of objects and enemies to solve puzzles and fight other enemies. I hope there's a post-game content where you can play as Link in that world. We were going to have Zelda playable post-game in Skyward Sword, but that got cut. This would be much higher for me, but I prefer 3D Zelda games over 2D ones. I'm likely getting this one, and I'll probably end up pre-ordering it as well, but there are some others I'm gonna pre-order first. Just Dance 2025 edition! Just know! LEGO Horizon Adventures! What we have here is a spin-off of a PlayStation IP on the Switch. That has got to sting! We've had the MLB games on Switch with a PlayStation logo, but it wasn't a game franchise they owned, just a license. This is an IP they own on their competitor's system! And I'm just gonna say this, I hate the idea of there only being one console. that would kill the industry, and it would go into way too much detail for me to explain why that is here. And ironically, the only reason that I even have this barely on my radar is because it is a PlayStation IP on the Switch. Stray finally comes to the Switch. I'm more into bright and colorful games than dank and grimy looking ones. I'd be more interested in getting Big City Little Kitty over this. Tales of the Shire, a Lord of the Rings game. Not all that big into the Lord of the Rings stuff. Ace Attorney Investigations Collection. Play as Edgeworth, look for clues, put 2 and 2 together, and change art styles. Kind of interested in this one. I'll keep an eye on it for now. The 100-line Last Defense Academy. Made by the Danganronpa people. I have no idea what's going on. And while we're here, let's put Romancing Saga 2 Revenge of the Seven there as well. Finally, we come to what can only be described as 7 years of breath-holding finally given a sigh of relief. As soon as I saw the green text, I knew it was Metroid, but I wasn't sure if it was 2 or the 3 remastered. When we saw the ship come into focus, we knew it was finally time for Prime 4! There were rumors that this was going to be the holiday title, but I kept saying to myself, nah, after all this time, it's going to be a cross-gen game. And the release window of 2025 proves me right. It looks too good to be on the Switch! I can only see 2 outcomes on that. 1, if this is a native Switch game, then imagine what Switch 2 will look like! And then there's 2. Oh, this is Switch footage alright, but what if it's cloud version? I hate when my head starts thinking of things like that. Still, this looks incredible, and if it is native, it could be the most stunning looking game on the Switch by far. I heard rumors that it'll be $70, and I believe that. Won't stop me from pre-ordering when I can, even if I'm not the biggest Metroid fan around, but I'm gonna wait till I hear that this is actually coming to the Switch too, because I figure that's just gonna be the better version anyway, and it'll give me something to play right away on the Switch too. Before going over my general thoughts on this Direct, let's have the Discord server tell us what's on their radar.
The game I'm most looking forward to is Mario and Luigi. I enjoy watching others play, and it looks really amazing. I'll pick it up when I can.
Phantom Brave really caught my attention. I'm already a fan of tactical RPGs, but one where you play as a cute little girl controlling monsters in the tide of battle sounds pretty interesting. I'm gonna have to try this out when I get a chance. Remember to protect the Munchkin. Or else.
Ever since the first crossover spawned in the arcades between the industry giant Marvel and the gaming giant Capcom, the whole world has been taken for a wild ride. From humble beginnings in Children of the Atom to becoming the cultural zeitgeist of Marvel vs. Capcom 2, the memorable cast, catchy tunes, top-tier animation, and proto-tournament wins have cemented this Versus series as one of the true greats. Marvel vs. Capcom has finally been freed once again for all modern audiences to enjoy and celebrate.
Oh, another RPG to sink my teeth into. Dragon Quest III. I played a little bit of 9 back in the day and a bit of 6 by accident from an accidental switch. Apparently 2 and 3 is also getting its HD remake. Sign me up.
Zelda being playable in a Zelda game is a sentence that would make sense, but it took us this long for it to actually happen. And no, the CDI games don't count. Don't argue with me. The ecosystem is really cool, and being able to copy enemies, very excited for it. I'm likely getting this one.
As an avid D&D player, I like games where I include the mechanics of RPGs, strategy games, base building, and economy sims which allow for gaining new territories, while preferably being open-ended. The Saga series is one of the few franchises that manages to combine most of these into one neat little package, and I have already committed the 24th of October to memory.
Mario Party, 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 Mario Party. Nothing is gonna stop me from owning the game!
I've always been a fan of Hello Kitty, so seeing a game like this come to Switch has got my interest peaked a little. Throw in some Animal Crossing gameplay in there, and you've got someone who is gonna play this for hours on end, even more than World of Warcraft. It's a day one pickup for me.
A game 7 years in the making with an 18-year grudge match to the boot. Metroid Prime 4 still alive and set to finish the Prime Saga as was originally envisioned. Maybe even connect with the end of the Metroids in Metroid 2. Definitively on my radar.
Mario and Luigi Brothership is on my personal radar simply due to the fact that we haven't gotten a Mario and Luigi game in nearly a decade, actually. Alpha Dream lives!
I have a love-hate relationship with Mario Party as a series. but Jamboree looks to be fixing the problems I had with Super while taking inspiration from Superstars. While I'm skeptical about the online and the motion controls, I'm looking forward to the chaos.
A sequel to an already beautiful looking game based on my favorite anime? Sign me up! This was an early one that caught my pizza making eyes. I mean, I wasn't watching the direct at work. I don't know what you're talking about. While I haven't played the first Fairy Tail for Switch, I ain't missing out on this one if I can help it.
This Direct had so many wild announcements and completely proved me wrong about this being a remastered Palooza. That I can take. Not getting some of the wild guesses right? I can take that too. What I can't take is that for a second time in a row we've been teased with NSO Rare games and still no sign of Diddy Kong Racing or even a mention as to why it's not here. The 8th best-selling game for the N64, so many people love it, and if we can get GoldenEye, which must have been a licensing nightmare, then where is this one? We haven't even heard of a good excuse for it not being there yet. Add that for the limited treatment DK gets for both of its ports on the Switch, and there was a bit of a sour note for me. But it is overpowered by a new Mario Party. Seeing classics like Marvel vs. Capcom 2 return in a collection, they finally answer the main question of how to make Zelda the main playable character in the series named after her, Mario and Luigi getting a new installment, and finally seeing Metroid Prime 4 in action after all these years! Ultimately giving the Switch quite the send-off for what many believed, myself included, thought we would only get ARBs until the Switch 2 came out. I still believe that the trademark leaks are legit, and we'll see other remasters in the future. The real question is, if they don't show up in a hypothetical September Direct, then are they being upgraded for the Switch too? I'd be okay with that. But now it's time for you to tell me what you thought about this Direct. Were there any announcements that got you really excited? Were there any disappointments you had? Let me know down below in the comments what's on your radar, and I'll see you guys in another video. Later, everyone!
Mario Party, Mario Party, Mario Party, Mario Party, Mario Party. Oh god, it could be like a tongue twister.
Maybe we should have a blooper reel.
Yeah, but
Marvel vs. Capcom Fighting... Marvel vs. Capcom Fighting Collection Arcade Classics. Marvel vs. Capcom Arcade Fighting Cartoon Classics. Oh my gosh, I can't do this. Can we have picked an easier name for this, please? Nintendo, is there a reason why we haven't seen the remasters of F-Zero GX, Star Fox Assault, and Kid Icarus Uprising yet?
It's my IP to sit on and do nothing with.
You gotta love how you can basically use that for any company. Here's to another 2-year wait for Season 3 of Smiling Friends.